The morning sun cast long shadows across the military base as Maya approached the main gate. At 23, she wore simple civilian clothes, faded jeans, and a gray sweater carrying only a worn leather messenger bag. To anyone watching, she looked like a lost college student who had wandered into the wrong neighborhood. "Stop right there!" The guard's voice cracked across the empty street. He was young, maybe 19, with the rigid posture of someone determined to prove himself. His hand rested on his sidearm as he stepped forward, blocking her path. "This is a restricted military installation. You need to turn around right now." Maya paused, her expression calm. "I have clearance. I'm here to see Colonel Davidson." The guard's face flushed red. "Clearance? You don't even have a badge visible. Do you have any idea how serious it is to attempt unauthorized entry onto a military base?" His voice rose, attracting the attention of two other guards near the checkpoint. "If you'll just let me show you my credentials." Maya reached slowly for her bag. "Don't move." The guard barked, his hand tightening on his weapon. "Keep your hands where I can see them. I don't know what kind of game you're playing, but this isn't some college campus you can just wander onto." A small crowd had begun to gather, other guards, a few early morning personnel. Maya stood perfectly still, her hands now raised slightly, palms forward. There was no fear in her eyes, only patience. "Son, you need to calm down," she said quietly. "I understand you're doing your job, but don't tell me to calm down." The guard stepped closer, his face inches from hers. "You civilians think you can just go anywhere you want. You think the rules don't apply to you. I should have you arrested right now for attempting to breach security." "What's going on here?" A sergeant had emerged from the guardhouse, drawn by the commotion. "This woman is trying to enter the base without authorization, Sergeant," the young guard reported, his chest puffed with righteousness. "She claims she has clearance but won't provide proper identification." The sergeant's eyes narrowed as he looked at Maya. "Miss, I'm going to need you to slowly show me whatever identification you have." Maya nodded, carefully reaching into her bag. She pulled out a slim wallet and extracted a card, handing it to the sergeant. He glanced at it, and his expression changed instantly. The color drained from his face. "Oh my God," he whispered. He looked up at Maya, then back at the card, then at the young guard whose bravado was beginning to crack. "What is it?" the guard asked, uncertainty creeping into his voice. Before the sergeant could answer, the roar of an engine announced the arrival of a black SUV. It screeched to a halt, and Colonel Davidson himself stepped out, his uniform crisp. He was a mountain of a man, decorated with ribbons that spoke of 30 years of service. His eyes swept the scene, taking in the raised voices, the gathered crowd, and Maya standing calmly at the center. His jaw tightened. "What in God's name is happening at my gate?" he thundered. The young guard straightened, suddenly hopeful. "Sir." This civilian was attempting to gain unauthorized entry. "I stopped her and..." The colonel wasn't listening. He had locked eyes with Maya, and in one fluid motion, his hand snapped to his forehead in a crisp salute. "General Torres, ma'am. My sincere apologies for this incident." The world seemed to stop. The young guard's mouth fell open. The sergeant's hand trembled as he returned Maya's ID card. The gathered personnel stood frozen in shock. Maya returned the salute with practiced precision. "At ease, Colonel. Your guard was doing exactly what he should do, protecting this installation. He had no way of knowing who I am." She turned to the young guard, whose face had gone from red to white to a sickly shade of green. "What's your name, soldier?" "Private Marcus Webb, ma'am," he stammered, finally snapping to attention. "Private Webb, you showed vigilance and commitment to security. Those are admirable qualities." She paused, her voice softening. "But you also let emotion override protocol. You should have verified credentials before escalating. Aggression isn't the same as authority, do you understand?" "Yes, ma'am." "I'm so sorry, ma'am." Maya nodded. "Learn from this. The best soldiers know when to stand firm and when to step back and assess." She turned to Colonel Davidson. "Shall we? I believe we have a briefing in 20 minutes. As she walked through the gate beside the colonel, the base erupted in whispers. Private Webb stood rooted to the spot, watching her disappear. "How was I supposed to know?" He whispered to the sergeant. The sergeant shook his head. "General Maya Torres. Youngest two-star general in the army. She leads the cyber warfare division. Works mostly in civilian clothes, often undercover." He clapped the private on the shoulder. "Consider yourself lucky, son. She could have ended your career. Instead, she gave you a lesson. Don't waste it. Private Webb looked down at his trembling hands, the weight of what had just happened settling on his shoulders. It would be a day he'd never forget, the day he learned that authority doesn't always announce itself, and that respect is something you earn, not something you demand. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this story, make sure to like and subscribe for more. See you next time.